Not now. I think it's refreshing. Yep.
Okay, so Sarika, just before we going to start this session, I'm just introducing myself. Okay,
Mm.
so I'm Atul Patil. I'm basically from Pune. I have 10 plus years of experience in IT background with the following technologies like cloud technology, OpenStack, Azure, Rackspace, vCloud, AWS. Almost all clouds on on OS, Windows, Linux, networking, and DevOps tools like Big Data Hadoop, Chef, Puppet, Jenkins, and Jira with a scripting shell, Perl, and Python, PowerShell. PowerShell is a Windows base, and other things are open source. So this is about my background. So can you just tell me your background? You working on which domain and how long it is?
Okay. So I have about 12 years of experience in IT now. So I've been primarily into networking and storage.
Okay,
And slowly, as you see, both networking and storage are converging into cloud, right?
right.
So that's why I wanted to understand, how it all fits in. And since OpenStack is open source, so I just wanted to, go through that first and later maybe, go to AWS.
Right. So is there any specific requirement means in your company or you're working somewhere, so any specific requirement you have for OpenStack or just you want to understand the OpenStack concepts?
Um, I want, no, the specific requirement is basically how OpenStack can be used in a virtualization environment. That is what we are trying to see. We have still not, started working on OpenStack yet, but this is a start. So I would like to know the overall architecture of OpenStack, the how different applications are used under compute, network, storage, etc. And maybe, a small project. That's what they stated.
Yeah, yeah, I got it. So I'll start my presentation. So introduction to
Yeah.
OpenStack CL210. Okay, agenda of this course is what is hypervisor and types, virtualization, what is cloud computing services, what is OpenStack, OpenStack versions, and component of OpenStack, and OpenStack architecture. Okay,
Okay.
so you're already working on virtualization and storage, right? So can you just tell me what is a hypervisor?
Sorry?
What is a hypervisor? Any idea?
Um, okay, I can't specifically tell, but in Cisco terms, it's basically an UCS blade on which you can actually, create your virtualization environment. So that will be the hypervisor, right? It's like a middleware between the hardware and the software.
Exactly. So hypervisor is nothing but sharing your hardware resources. Okay. A hypervisor,
Mm.
also called as virtual machine manager, is a program that allows multiple operating system to share a single hardware host. Okay. There are two types of hypervisors. One is native or bare metal hypervisor, and second is hosted hypervisor. So what is the difference between bare metal and hosted? We'll check with the first bare metal. Okay. This hypervisor run directly on the host hardware to control the hardware and the manage guest operating system. Means this hypervisor we directly install on your hardware and then we'll create your virtualization. That hypervisor name
Mm-hmm.
is bare metal. For examples are Citrix, Zen servers, Microsoft Hyper-V, VMware ESX, ESXi, those and the KVM, those coming in your bare metal hypervisor. And the second
Okay.
hypervisor is hosted hypervisor. This hypervisor run on a conventional operating system just as other computer programs do. A guest operating system run as a process on the host. The operating system means like Windows, Linux, Mac, any operating system. We're creating one more software. That software is hypervisor. It is second layer that is calling as a hosted hypervisor. Okay, and the example is VMware Workstation, VMware Player, VirtualBox, Parallel Desktop for Mac QEMU. Okay, here I explain properly. You can see that this is my hardware, and the top of the hardware I install the hypervisor. Then we can create the VMs. Okay, so this is coming to the your bare metal, and on the hosted
Mm-hmm.
like hardware, and here is my OS. The host OS is anyone like Windows or Linux or Ubuntu, anything, and then a hypervisor. Then you can create the VMs. But here is some
Mm-hmm.
dependencies. Suppose on my host, the host OS having some issue like patch issue or the file got corrupted. If anything goes wrong with my OS, this software also not working. So again, if this software is not working, it means my VMs will be not working. So this kind of scenario, we not using the production server or the company premises. We always using the bare metal. Okay. And for home or testing, you can use the type 2 hypervisor or hosted hypervisor, like your VMware workstation or your Oracle toolbox. Okay. Those coming your hypervisor tool. Did you get this one? Hypervisor difference 1 and
Yeah,
2.
yeah.
Okay, so in the markets, you lot of working with virtualization, right? So virtualization means it's a creating a virtual version of something like operating system, storage, or network. Means you can see that before virtualization, we are like multiple boxes. Like this is my AD server, DHCP server, storage server, network server. So as a system admin, we have to manage this 4 or 5 machines or 10 machines at a time. Again, the maintenance will be different. Like suppose I want to decrease the RAM of this machine, so I have to shut down this machine and remove the RAM, then it will work, right? Again, the space utilization, resource utilization, like your EC, wires, LANs, everything will be higher. Then came in the market new technology name is virtualization. This all boxes we can fix in a one box, in one box, that is come to as a virtualization environment. Okay, you can share your hardware, software, your network, everything we can install on one box, and it's very easy to manage it, and again increase it or decrease it as per your requirement. Okay, but now what is happening in the real market? A lot of projects are coming, lot of new technologies are coming, so these boxes are also going to be increased, right? So company are getting like a same problem. Like previously we have 10 machines, they come to the as a one hardware, one virtualization, but now it's almost like 100 of virtualization machines. Again, it's going to be managed of that machine is very difficult, like backup, security, network, everything, right? Then came in the new market, the new technology name is cloud computing. So what is the cloud computing? Cloud computing or cloud repos deliver of computing resources on demand. Computing resources means like your VM, hardware, network, storage, everything. Okay. So in service
Mm.
provider by default, cloud computing provide three kind of services. One is IaaS, second one is a PaaS, third one is a SaaS means SaaS. So what is a IaaS? I explain here. Suppose this is my client, cloud client. Okay, it is like a web browser, mobile app, thin client, terminal, emulators, okay, etc. So SaaS means it's only providing software as a service. Means he providing software like CRM, your email service, game service, virtual desktop, communications, same thing. Means we only access that particular software, that is called as SaaS software. Everything else managed by your company, cloud company, means cloud vendor. Okay. The second one is a PaaS. PaaS is a platform as a service. Here we have to manage the cloud client will manage executing runtime, database, web server, or development tools. Means suppose I have one application server. I install my application server on a cloud. My work is manage my application, that application server or the database, other things like hardware resources and everything managed by cloud provider. That is called as
So,
platform.
just
Yeah,
a minute, I have a question here in platform as a service. So, you have an application server, so you just install that application server. So, you're not really bothered about the kind of hardware it's been installed on. Is that what it is?
right, exactly. Means the cloud provider will manage hardware, your setup, your VM, backup of your VM, security, then antivirus, everything managed by your cloud provider. Only your work is you have to just handle your application or your
Hmm.
database. Okay, that is comes as a platform as a service. And third one is the infrastructure as a service. Means here we cloud provider manage everything, right? Like hardware and everything. This everything comes to your infrastructure as a service. Here we have to manage your hardware to your applications. Means like create your VMs, hardwares, create your server, create your project for the client, assign the networking, assign the storage, assign the your virtualization technology, that comes in your IaaS. Okay, OpenStack.
Basically, the backend.
Sorry.
It's the backend, right?
Yeah, it's a backend. Means everything managed by everything you have to manage. Like cloud, everything you have to manage. Only application will be managed by your client. Means actually here and here the manage everything by the cloud provider, right? That same thing we have to manage in your IaaS. Everything we have to, the else management we have to manage here, like the hardware management and the storage and network, everything we have to manage. That comes in the infrastructure as a service, like your virtual machine, server, storage, load balancer, network, etc. Okay, so
Okay.
OpenStack is only based on IaaS, infrastructure as a service, the last one. Okay, so we have to manage
Okay.
everything. Okay, you can see here I mentioned on a SaaS. Okay, on premises we have like before the cloud, we have application, runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization, server, storage, networking, right? On SaaS, software as a service, we have to, you can see here, managed by vendor. Managed by vendor means
Mm,
he manage everything. I'm only access my game or email game services, like, right? Or like his Dropbox.
mm,
This is coming as a software as a service. In the platform
mm,
as a service, this one, runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization, server, storage, everything managed by my vendor. Okay, and my
mm.
client will manage application and data. Okay, application and data means suppose you
So
have one.
when you say a vendor, it will be something like, say in a AWS environment, the vendor would be Amazon. So they would be,
Exactly.
managing the rest of it, whereas the client like us who ask for service will be only taking care of the application and the data in the
Yes.
PAS, right?
Here AWS will be manage the red thing and my client will be
Yeah,
manage application and data. Okay, application means
yeah,
client's application and the data of the application. In
yeah.
infrastructure as a service, here you can see that the blue things, OS, middleware, runtime, data and application, this is managed by client and this is managed by your cloud provider. Okay, but
Mm,
in OpenStack, we have to also manage this all things for one.
mm,
Okay, it's normally cloud computing services, but in OpenStack, it's open source. We have to manage this four thing also. The red one I mentioned here, this thing also we have to manage it because this OpenStack we have to build in on own environment and we have to manage that one. I'll show that in what is
yeah.
the difference between OpenStack and AWS and Azure. So what is
Okay.
the OpenStack? OpenStack is a global collaboration of developers and the cloud computing technologies, producing the open source cloud computing platform for public and private cloud. Okay, so what is the difference between public and private cloud? I'll explain here. Okay, this is my organization like IBM. Inside of my company, I have created one cloud. That cloud only accessible inside of my company. That is called as private cloud. Okay, that is called as private cloud, like IBM or your HP, Cisco, those companies are using the same cloud. That is called private cloud. But I have created one more cloud. That cloud's accessible to outside of my organization, or like your Dropbox, right? Those
Mm.
coming to your private cloud or your public cloud, like your Amazon Web Services or which one, Azure. This we access.
Salesforce is public cloud.
Sorry.
Salesforce, what is Salesforce?
Salesforce, yes, Salesforce is also coming as a public cloud. Me,
Mm,
I'm sorry. Public cloud means this cloud is hosted on a different environment and we accessing from anywhere inside of your company, outside of your company, or like you can access on your home, your office, everywhere, on your mobile also. This is my public cloud. It means I'm accessing through anywhere publicly with your authentication or credentials, like your AWS.
similar to iCloud on Apple, right?
Yeah. So it is my public cloud. Okay, and the combination between the both of them, suppose this IBM company created one cloud and that cloud they have shared with the publicly, means this cloud is accessible inside of the IBM premises, but also we can
Mm,
access this cloud some of the resources from outside of the organization, that is coming as a hybrid cloud.
mm,
Okay, so this is the main difference. One is a private cloud, second is a public cloud, and the combination of these both one it is calling as a hybrid cloud. Okay, so other
Mm.
service provider like AWS, Azure, vCloud, those are providing the public cloud. Okay, right,
Yeah.
like Rackspace, those providing the public cloud. But using the OpenStack, we can create the private cloud as well. We can create the public cloud or also the hybrid cloud. Okay.
Okay.
So here's one more definition I mentioned. OpenStack is a set of software tools for building and managing cloud computing platform for public and private clouds. Okay, using public and private cloud, we can create the hybrid cloud also. So in OpenStack, we have version types of systems. So what is a version types of system means? So in the year of 2011, the two big companies name is NASA and the Rackspace. They built it one code. That code name is OpenStack. Okay, and then release that code on Google internet. It's a free of source because it's a open source. Okay, so you can see that here they're using the name of the. Wait, I just zoom something here. Yeah. So it's the name will be alphanumeric and those names are in one city's names. Okay. It's a Austin like Baxter, Cactus, DeBello, ABCD. It's come to the alphanumeric method and still it is come to the Newton. Newton is the latest package. So OpenStack, the open community will release the two versions in a 1 year. Okay, after every 6 months they will release the new version. The new version means the components are same but they're adding some new features. Okay, like
Mm.
security features, storage features, they're adding there. You can see that every year they release the two versions: 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16. So this is started from 2011 to 2016, means almost 5 years they goes to start it, but companies are going to use from last 3 years. Okay,
Mm.
company going to use from the Havana and Ice House, means almost only 3 years is completed. So it's a very good opportunity if you're moving somewhere or if you're going to implement somewhere. A lot of projects are coming for the OpenStack only because it just recently started and it's a cloud provider, right? This is cloud
Mm.
computing sources and something is like a open source. Open source means I can download that code, I can create my own code and create a own cloud for the providing cloud services, right? So it's a very helpful.
No, I didn't understand. What was that?
Yeah, I'll explain you here. OpenStack is open source, right?
Mm.
Like you can, open source means we can download code, we can
Mm.
edit that code, means we can create the as per our requirement code and we can create our own cloud. For example, I can download OpenStack package and I can create the Atul cloud. Okay, because it's a open source, right? I can easily download the packages and I can build that packages and I can create the Atul cloud and I can share this cloud with my client and I can earn the money, right? Like
Okay.
big companies, IBM, they done the same thing. They download the OpenStack packages and they created own cloud. That own cloud is IBM cloud. If you get any chance to see that IBM cloud or graphical structure, is everything is same like OpenStack. Second company name is
Mm-hmm.
Cisco, HP. They done the same things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the versions. So basically your exam will be conducted on the kilo version if you're going for certification, and
Mm.
latest one is Newton. So we're going to conduct the kilo as well as your Newton, anything. Okay.
Okay.
So in OpenStack, so just tell me one thing. So creating a single VM, okay, on anywhere, like
Mm.
on your laptop or on your virtual machine, anywhere, to creating a single
Mm.
VM, what was the requirements required? Means creating a single VM,
Need a CPU, a RAM, a processor, a RAM.
right? RAM, then your hard disk, then your
Yeah.
authentication, right? Authentication means
Mm.
your username and password, then
Yeah.
network,
Then network. Yeah.
and anything missing? OS.
OS. Which OS you want to run?
Right. So creating a single VM, we require this kind of hardwares. I can say hardwares. But in the cloud computing, like any cloud computing, AWS, Azure, any cloud computing, they have separated these all parts as a single component. Means for OS, they separated one components, network, they separated one components, authentication is different component, hard disk is different components. After this coming these all components together, they comes together, that is called as a cloud computing. Okay, on
Okay.
any cloud technology like AWS, or you can say OpenStack. So in OpenStack we have multiple component. I'll show one by one. So first component name is Horizon. Okay, this is the names, and
Can you
this,
just reduce? I am not able to see the top.
yeah,
Yeah, better.
yeah. So first component name is Horizon. So this is the core of the name, and there here's you can specifications. Okay, so Horizon is a
So
code name.
just one question here.
Yeah,
So based on the requirements that we need to create a VM, that the things that you listed down there,
right.
so each one of it is being named a certain thing, is it? Like Horizon is one, Nova is one.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly the same thing. Okay, so Horizon is basically providing your dashboard. So what is a dashboard? Dashboard means your graphical access. Means to manage your machine, you will get the graphical access using your Mozilla or Firefox that you can easily manage. That is called as Horizon. Okay, it's provide a web-based self-service portal to interact with your underlying OpenStack services, such as the launching an instance, assigning IP address, and configuring access controls. Okay, so using Horizon, we can also manage everything on graphically, or we have the command line also. Okay, so second point is component is the Nova. It's very important mandatory component. Nova is basically providing compute. Okay, so what is a compute? Do you have any idea what is compute?
Not much actually.
So compute means you can say like a hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor
Mm,
means providing you hardware resources. Okay, Nova basically used for manage the life cycle of compute instances in an OpenStack environment. Responsibility includes swapping, scheduling, and decomposition of your virtual machine on demand. Okay, this is a task of Nova. It's a very important because it's a mandatory component. Without Nova, we cannot build. Okay, the third component name is Neutron. Neutron is basically providing your networking services. So networking services means enable network connectivity as a service for OpenStack services such as OpenStack Compute. Means when we create the VM, it will assign the IP address to that VM, assign
mm,
the subnet, assign the gateway, router, switches, everything managed by your Neutron. Okay.
mm.
Then fourth point is Swift. Swift is a object storage. So any idea what is a object storage? Object storage means
Uh, no, I just know that it is a different kind of storage medium where it is very haphazard. You don't need to store it block by block or something
right.
like that, right?
So OpenStack will provide two kind of storage. Uh, OpenStack will provide persistent storage. So any idea what is a persistent storage?
Uh, Not much.
Persistent storage means we can add the storage on your VM after you're starting the VM. Means suppose in your company you have one VM and this is going to be full. So now you're going to be adding one partition. That partition actually located on your sandbox or NAS box. Okay, that is
Mm,
coming as a persistent storage. Or for example, I have pen drive, right? In my machine, I can
mm,
attach the pen drive and I can save the document inside of my pen drive. But suppose my machine will be goes down, I can detect my pen drive to my another machine and I can access that data, right? The same thing, that
mm,
storage name is persistence. So OpenStack will provide two kind of persistent storage. One is Swift and second is Cinder. Okay.
mm,
So what is a Swift? Swift means stores and retrieve attribution unstructured data. So unstructured data means like your videos, movies, ISO files, text files, your Excel files, those files are coming in your unstructured data. Okay, those
mm.
storage name is Swift. Okay, so it's
Okay.
basically it's working like a Amazon S3. Amazon S3 is also same things. It's a Swift storage. Okay, and the next storage name is block storage. So block storage means it's persistent block storage to running an instance, provide extra storage to VM. It is a structural data like your VM partition. Okay. So
Hmm.
this Cinder we can add as a another partition. We can mount that partition permanently in your machine. Even you can mount from that partition also, or you can install any database or application on that partition. That is as a persistent storage with a Cinder. You got it?
Okay.
So there is two,
Yeah, yeah.
one is structured data, one is unstructured data. I will
Understood.
explain one by one the components after this one, but just understand
So
two kind of
just
storage.
one second.
Yeah.
1 second. So basically, you use block storage when you have very important data to be stored, so that it's made available elsewhere also. Whereas Swift is basically if you have something like a gaming stuff and usage like that, right? You
No.
just have data
Swift also we can
locally.
use for important work. Like for example, suppose
Okay.
I want to extend my partition, so I can use my Cinder. Extend partition means suppose my VM going to be full, then I need more
Hmm.
storage. That time I can use the Cinder. But suppose I want to
Hmm.
share my document with my client or ISO with my client, so I can use the Swift because Swift is a ring technology. It's a unstructured data. ISO is
Hmm.
unstructured data, right? ISO or movies or videos or
Correct.
music. So I can save that data on my Swift and I'll assign the Swift to my client. So client can easily access that one. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And it's optional. Okay. Swift and Cinder is basically optional storage. We can use it or not use it. It depends on us. Okay. And the next
Hmm.
component name is Keystone. Keystone is basically user identity services. So identity services means like Windows we have AD Active Directory, Linux we have LDAP, right? Lightweight Directory Access
Hmm.
Protocol. So in OpenStack we have Keystone. It's a mandatory component. Without Keystone we cannot do anything. So it's provide an authentication and authorization service for other OpenStack services. So can you just explain me what is the difference between authentication and authorization?
Yeah, authentication is basically you want to know if the user is real or not. Authorization is depending on the kind of user, you have special privileges, special access that is given to certain applications. So
Exactly.
that will come from the authorization.
Yeah, exactly same. So Keystone will provide authentication and authorization services for other OpenStack services. Means he's the boss. The Keystone will provide the access to your other services like block storage, image storage, and your horizon. Everything will be managed by your service, managed by your Keystone. Okay. So Keystone is
Okay,
very
okay.
important. And the next thing is Glance. Glance is a new component that is basically used for image services. So what is the image services? Image services means like your ISO files. When we create the VM,
Hmm.
we require ISO, VMDK, VHD file, right? So that service provided
Correct.
by your Glance. Stores and retrieve virtual machine disk images. OpenStack compute makes used to during the instance provisioning. Means whenever we creating the machine, we require the image it provided by Glance. Okay.
So
It is
you, whatever VMs you want to create the specific ISOs and the related files, it will be provided by Glance. As in, we'll have to install Glance. That's what I want to know.
yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
all these components are stitched together. That's what I want to know actually.
Yes, I'll go one by one. Don't worry. It's a
Yeah, yeah, sure.
overview. So glance is mandatory components. Without glance also OpenStack will not work. Okay. The next thing is Ceilometer. So Ceilometer means it's a telemetry service. So telemetry service means it's just monitoring everything on your cloud. So suppose I'm a cloud provider and you are my client. So suppose you're using from last my 1 month. Now I'm just creating one bill for you. So how I can create the bill? How much your utilization is done on my cloud, how long your machines are running on my cloud, and how much VMs like RAM, hardware, CPU utilization there. So this is done by your Ceilometer. So Ceilometer will
Mm.
monitoring each and every component, how much it is utilized, how much it is free. So we can using that one calculate the values and providing the bills to your client, or you can just monitor your hardware resources. Okay, so it's basically
Okay.
provided by Ceilometer. It's a telemetry service. It's an optional component. The next one is Tro. It's a basically database as a service. Okay, it's provide a database like cloud database as a service functionality. It's optional. Sahara, it's a, like a data processing like your Hadoop. Okay, using Sahara we can create the Hadoop also. So this thing is we are not using because it's not mandatory. This one, Heat. So cloud is basically work on a big environment, right? I have to create the, suppose I have 10 vendors and every vendor is required every time to create the 10 machine at a time. So creating of this machine single one by one is not a stupid things, right? We have to do as orchestration. So Heat is basically
Mm.
providing your orchestration. Means is here we can use the template system. Using template we can run multiple VMs at a single time. Okay, suppose I want to create the 100 VMs. I can create the one template. I mention the names and run the template. It automatically create the 100 of VMs. Okay, so Heat we
Mm.
can use it. Heat again, Heat is an optional cloud. Next one is Ironic, is a bare metal as a service like your, we can create the PXC boot, means your network booting, right?
Mm.
Kickstart booting. So this is about your components overview. Okay, so you can see here is my structure.
Can you just enlarge this, please? Thanks.
So you can say top of the layer we have horizon provide your graphical access. Okay, Ceilometer is going to monitoring, just because of monitoring he's on top of the location. And the keystone will provide your authentication and authorization, right? Without keystone we
Mm.
cannot log into your machines or your cloud also. So that's why these
Mm.
three components on my top of. Here is my VM or my like application server or something. So this VM requires storage. So storage is Swift and Cinder. This VM required IP address. So it's coming to from Neutron. This VM required ISO file is coming from Glance. And for provisioning this everything provided by Nova. Okay.
Mm.
Now that this architecture is looking like very difficult, but when we go one by one, you will understand that things. Okay. Other components you can attach here. For orchestration, I use the Heat. For database services, I use the Tro. You can use the Ironic as a network booting. Okay, so this is the architecture of your OpenStack. Normally it's look like this
Oh,
one, but when we go one by one you will understand more. Okay, so here I created simple quiz like compute services provided by your which code name,
no.
right? And image service,
Glance? Is that glance?
right? Glance. Orchestration,
Uh, Hot. The hot?
no, it's a Heat.
Oh, heat. Sorry.
Heat.
Sorry.
And the block storage,
Either Cinder or Swift. Oh, sorry. Block storage is Cinder.
yes, exactly. Object storage,
Object is Swift.
yes, same thing. Data processing service,
Data processing service.
Sahara or Tro.
Sahara or?
No, database
Trove, yeah,
service
yeah.
Pro and a database
Correct.
service that comes as Sahara. Telemetry,
Sahara. Ceilometer.
right. Identity service,
Identity is basically authentication and authorization, right?
right.
Keystone.
Yeah, stop over here. Networking,
Networking is Neutron.
yes. Neutron by networking and dashboard.
Horizon.
Yes, Horizon will provide your dashboard. So this is the overview about the OpenStack. Okay, this every
Mm.
component we're going to one by one. What is the specification and what is used there. So here we are using two kinds of installations. One is your pack stack, okay, and second is a dev stack. So what is a dev stack and pack stack? Dev stack is basically used for your development purpose.
Mm.
Okay, so development purpose means the developer is building the codes. They build the code, they upload the code on Git or GitHub, and using the dev stack, they download the codes and run the OS. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just basically for testing purpose. Okay, DevStack will not use anywhere in exam or your production servers. So it's only for testing purpose and developer purpose. Okay. So using DevStack, we can create the machine. It's very fast. Okay. But it's not on for production. If I restart my machine, the services will be down. Okay. Again, we have to start
Oh,
that one. So DevStack will not use in production, and PackStack is based on RDO. RDO means Red Hat Deployment OpenStack. Okay, it's basically work on Puppet at the background model, Puppet models. Like automatically he will create the everything. Just we have to mention where is my glance, where is my keystone, where is my storage. Everything we have to just mention inside the answer file. Okay, I'll show that one by one. Today we'll just discuss about the dev stack, and tomorrow I will create the machine with the pack stack. In your exam for certification or real-time scenario like on production or testing purpose, we also use the pack stack. Okay,
okay.
so what is the dev stack and how to do that one? I'll show here.
So Atul, before you go forward, right? So do you provide any kind of reading material for this?
Yeah, I will provide you one links there. You can just download the OpenStack and PackStack and the DevStack installation guide. I have the documents like I will create here this presentation files for each and every component, like what is keystone, glance, everything. It's explaining everything, but if you want to go very deeply, I'll give you the one link. There's each and every components are there, and how to do that one, everything is mentioned there.
Okay, sure. I actually like the the complete um, flow diagram that you gave of how a VM uses different things. So is that shareable? Is
Yeah,
that
it's shareable,
particular
shareable.
flowchart shareable?
Yeah, it's a shareable. Yeah, I'll share this
Okay.
everything. Even I'll download this. I will record this session. End of the session, I will upload on Dropbox. You can download every day. Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Every
Thank
session you
you.
can download it and save in one folder. So next time you when you go for one by one, it's very easy, right? So we are on the DevStack, right? So DevStack here I created a document. DevStack is a series of extendable script used for quickly bring up complete OpenStack environment based on the latest version of everything from Git master. It is used by Interactive as a development environment as a basic much of OpenStack project trouble function testing. So do you know what is a Git?
Yeah, yeah, it is a repository, code repository. We use it.
Yeah, Git is basically like a central repository. Is sharing your codes. It's built by the
Yeah.
Linux solver. Linux solver
Yeah.
is the owner of your Linux machine or open source. Okay.
Mm.
So quick start. We're using the. We can use anything like CentOS, RHEL7, Fedora, Ubuntu, or your Debian, OpenSUSE. I'm using DevStack basically on Ubuntu machines. Okay. And PackStack we're going to Linux. So you will familiar with the both of VMs, both of OSs. So have you worked before that Ubuntu?
No, I'm primarily on CentOS
Okay,
and
so it's
Fedora.
very simple like your same things. So you can see that it's my the RAM I assigned here 5 GB. Okay, it's a 2 GB
Mm.
also enough, but I use the 5 GB because it work fine. And here I use the 40 GB of hard disk. Okay, it's 40 GB of my hard disk, and -A, it's showing my OS version. It is my Ubuntu 14.04 and the code name of this OS is Trusty. Okay, release name is
Mm.
14.04. It's Ubuntu. So I'm logging as this machine on my username, home Atul. Okay, so when we run the DevStack is basically work on your username credentials. It's not run on your root privileges. Why? I'll
Okay.
show that demo. So how to do the download and install the DevStack? First we have to download this link. Okay, so first I will go on my root location. It not work. We have to use the sudo command first. Sudo su hyphen. Sudo su hyphen means sudo is for admin
Yeah.
privileges. Su means switch user.
Correct.
Okay, so you can see that I'm logging as a root. So when I use this
Mm.
command, we have to just download this package devstack folder using the git. You already work, right? So it's a simple command,
Yeah.
but before downloading
Yeah.
we have to just install the git. It's a fresh machine, so first we have to install the git. You can see I download here. It's showing the program git is currently not installed. You can install it typing apt-get install git. Okay, in CentOS we have yum install command,
Yeah.
and Ubuntu we use in the apt-get install. Okay,
Okay.
so I use here apt-get install. Okay, first he will download this everything packages. It's almost 21 MB. So you're working as a system admin?
No. I'm actually an architect in quality assurance.
Okay.
UA. Why usually system admins take this training, is it?
No, it's not kind of as an admin or as an architecture, because architecture will architect the cloud, right? After the system admin will build that one. So
Oh,
architect
okay.
is important, like your database administrator or developer also doing the course because they build the codes, right? So now I'm using this command git clone and then your HTTPS location and this package name. Okay, it is provided by OpenStack. So when I use this command, it will automatically cloning to my dev stack. Cloning means the same package which clone on my desktop, but the size will be different. So when I start the installation, it's actually calling to my this location HTTPS git openstack.org/OpenStack dev. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, it's downloading
So
done.
this we could do it even by creating a VM on my laptop as well, right?
Yeah. So what is the configuration of your laptop? Like a
I
RAM?
think I have created a VM. It's not a very high end, but it's got a 1 TB hard disk and I think 16 GB RAM.
Yeah, that is enough. Even my laptop also 16 GB RAM. You have to just install a VMware workstation like this one. Okay,
Hmm.
it's you can download
Hmm.
from VMware site and you can create the multiple VM
Hmm.
here. Okay,
Oh, okay.
it's very simple. So you can see that here's the one
Okay.
folder created, name is devstack, ownership is root. I'm trying to run this devstack folder. Just cd, just go change directory is the command, and inside of the directory you can see that file name is stack.sh. Okay, is the permission is there.
Hmm.
I try to run. I hope do you know this is the command, right? Dot slash, then you are
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
running your
I'm comfortable with.
Linux, right? Yeah, so when I use this command you can see that root stack dev stack should be run as a user with a sudo prevision, not a root, because this script will harm your OS. Just because of that things they mention you can run with your simple user, not a root. Okay, so I'm
Hmm.
just going here su hyphen atul to switch user. So again I will download the same package here, not this one, or you can just copy paste that package from your
Yeah.
root location to here also, that work. So git is already there, so this one is will be clone. Okay, same package I download here, you can see that, and the ownership is atul and atul. So I just change my directory, just go to devstack folder. Then you can see that there is a file stack.sh is showing the green, means we can run this file. If it is permission is not there, then we have to change the permission. Okay, you can use the sh hyphen x then shell, or you can use the dot slash then this command.
Yeah.
Okay, it's work both of the way. I use here, it will ask me the few passwords. We have to mention this password and make sure the password will be remembered. So I'll use the same password like Red Hat. So you can see everything will building automatically. Okay, so this all component is downloading everything on your this VM, and it will be building the one OpenStack cloud for you for testing purpose. Okay, so it will ask me the 5 times password. Okay, first thing is default will be this is for your database. Okay, so I use the password is Red Hat. Then again is asking the password for Rabbit. Okay, what is the Rabbit? I will show. Then next one is asking for authentication. Authentication means your keystone. Red Hat.
Yeah.
Then again asking for horizontal authentication.
That,
Enter and done. It will take almost 20 to 25 minutes to complete this installation because it's building everything. It's like a one script. The script will run everything. So what is the data inside of my script? I'll just duplicate this session and I'll log in with the username.
so basically when you install this dev stack,
Yeah.
all the components of OpenStack are installed, is it, or only the mandatory ones are
No,
installed?
no, all components. It will install all components. So what components are there? I'll show here. Just go in DevStack folder and just open that file stack.sh script which one we run. So this script will explain you. Stack.sh is optimized OpenStack developer installation. It install and configure various combination of Cinder, Glance, Heat, Horizon, Keystone, Nova, Neutron, and Swift. Okay, he will automatically configure this all component. Okay, for testing purpose only. So this is the script. If you are good in the script, you can just learn this script. It's a simple script. They have mentioned start timing, date and timing, then stop directory, stack environment. It will check the directory environment. As soon as we enable, disable, everything will be done. They have mentioned in the script. Almost 200 plus lines are there. You can see that. Okay, it's a simple script
Yeah.
to run that one, but it's not used for production. It's just only for your testing purpose or development purpose. Okay, so it will take time to download this everything. So meanwhile I will explain you one component. Okay, what is a, so we'll go with the deployment scenario. What is the deployment scenario? I'll show you here. Okay, this is running on the background. Okay, so this process is running on background.
Yeah.
It's taking too much time. Okay, so logical architecture, like various OpenStack nodes like controller node, compute node, network node, and storage node. Controller means he will manage your all machines. Okay, all nodes. It's basically on like mandatory nodes. Compute means your hypervisor node, and compute means like sharing your hardware resources like RAM, hardware, CPU, like your VMware SSI or KVM, same thing. Network is like your networking node. We can use a separate node. Also, we can install on your controller machine, or we can do this all things on all in one, or we can create the multiple nodes to done that one. Okay. Then next one is you can create the storage node. Storage node means like your Swift or Cinder. Okay. We can create a Swift as a one node, or we can install also a controller. So deployment scenario is two roles, three roles. So what is the two roles, three roles, and all in one? All in one means these four things we install in on one machine. Like here on my Packstack installation, with installing everything on my one machine, right? So that is all in one. Okay. So suppose I want to deploy two roles. Two roles means controller and compute. Like network role and storage, everything on my controller, and compute is basically used for only for hypervisor resources. Okay, and on controller we have network, storage, and second node is compute. Three role means we have controller, then compute, then network, and storage we can install on my controller. Okay, four node means we can add it these four nodes. Okay, you got it? Any doubt here? What is the two roles, three roles?
No.
Yeah. So it's a logical architecture here. It's like it's very difficult to understand right away. So this is my horizon HTTPS. Okay, just leave this
Okay.
one. It's like it's not looking right away. I'll show this diagram. I'll send you later. Okay. So controller node, it's a run controlling service of OpenStack which contains identity service, image service, compute, networking, and dashboard. Okay, we can use the SQL database, messaging queue services, NTP, and optional runs Cinder Swift Heat telemetry. Optional runs means these packages are optionals. Okay, it's not mandatory to
Mm.
install, but we can do it or not do it. Okay, so it's controller done by these all things. Okay, it's controlling your services of OpenStack, means it's manage your compute, is manage your network, is manage your storage, as well as your identity service like Keystone. Okay, management portion of the service. Okay, it's the management portion of the service, star one. Compute node, it's a AKA hypervisor node, means contains core component of OpenStack, runs services which interact with the hypervisor, contains hypervisor softwares like KVM, Hyper-V, Zen, VMware, everything. Okay, all hypervisors comes in your compute node. Okay, also contains networking plugin telemetry agents, means we have to just install the telemetry service on my compute machine to optimize how much hardware it is utilized, or how much hardware it will be free, right? Ceilometer is
Correct.
basically used for telemetry, right? Same thing. We can run more
Mm.
than one compute node, means suppose in real production what is happening, we have multiple nodes, like I'll explain here.
Yeah.
So suppose this is my controller node. Okay, controller node is basically used for your controlling your resources, right? And second one, I'm creating compute node. So this is my compute node, but suppose this compute is going to be full, there is some limitation, right? I attach a 2 TB RAM, but the RAM goes to be full now, so we have to just add one more node. We can add many more node of computes because it's a
Mm.
hypervisor, right? So we can add many more computes on my with my controller. Okay, so we can install this
Oh,
kind of scenario, or all-in-one also work, but real-time scenario, it will all-in-one we are not using, it's using the multi-node installation. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Network node contain networking service of OpenStack, run plugin and server other agent that provides tenant networks. Tenant network means it's provide IP address information, IP address, gateway or subnet, everything provided by your Neutron. Provide switching, routing, NAT and DHCP services. This is the advanced functions. The node also handle external connectivity. We can run more than one compute node. Okay, we can add more than compute nodes also. Storage node is optional and it can be combined with the compute node. Means we can install on your compute, or we can add on your controller node, or we can create the one separate node for your storage node. Okay, contain disks that Cinder provides for VMs, also contain disks that Swift service use for storing unstructured data, runs telemetry agents for collecting meters, can have more than one storage node. Okay, we can do,
So here, Ratan, when you say it is a node, right?
yeah,
It's actually a hardware component, right? It's not a term that you use as a node. It's a hardware component,
no, no,
right?
hardware is a VM, okay, but when we installing as any component, that VM comes as your node. Okay, so in my diagram I show you here, uh, this is my single, suppose this is my VM, okay, this is my plain VM, and top of the VM I installed some packages. So this package is coming as a node, we calling as a node. In OpenStack language we calling
So,
as a node.
okay.
Okay, after installing this
So it's a
OpenStack package,
terminology that you use.
yeah, it's a terminology. Basically for hardware resources we using the hypervisor, right? So in OpenStack we
Mm.
calling as a compute. Okay, we calling as a compute.
Okay. So when you talked about compute node, it's actually talking about the
Hypervisor,
hardware
yes,
with the rest hypervisor. When you
exactly.
say storage node, so you need to add, so when you add another storage node, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean you'll be adding extra disks for
Storage node
provisioning?
means we have to create a one more VM. Okay. Node means we have to create a one more VM, and top of the VM we can install the storage packages like Swift or Cinder packages on top of that VM. Then it will interact with your Keystone. After the authentication, it's coming to your inside of OpenStack cloud, then we can assign the disk like a virtual disk or a partition to your VM.
Partition to the okay.
Like for example, suppose I have this is my controller, okay, this is my compute, okay, I have two computes and networking also my this machine. So I'll create here the one storage node, okay. This storage node I install the Swift or Cinder packages here. So it's so packages means actually it's a background. There is some storage like your sandboxes, NAS boxes or NetApp tools or like semantic software. We can install any software here, and using that software we can share the virtual hard disks, right? Virtual hard disks we can attach to your VM. That VM will create here, right? Will attach this partition or the Swift storage to my VM. That VM will create here using your controller or your compute, multiple computes. We're creating the VM. That VM will get the external partition from this storage node. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So this thing I already mentioned, the two roles deployment scenario, one is controller node, one plus compute nodes, optional is one plus block storage, optional one plus software storage. Okay, we are doing is software storage on your controller node only, but we can do, if it is required, we can do in multi-node also. Okay, so you can see that on controller node we have one or two CPUs, 8 GB RAM, 100 GB storage, one NIC card. Okay, compute node we have same 2 or 4 CPUs. 2 or 4 CPUs, why? Because when we create the VM, virtual VM, it will use this hardware from the your compute, right? Hypervisor.
Correct.
So that's why we have multiple CPUs and more RAMs as per requirement. 100 GB of storage, 2 NIC cards. When we create the machine, it will goes to one NIC card will assign to the VM, right? Storage we also same 1 or 2 CPUs, 2 GB RAM because it's just only sharing the storage. Okay, and 100 GB storage, one NIC card. Object storage is one more optional. Object storage too, we can create the clone of that object storage. Okay, so this is showing your core components, means controller and compute is core component, and this dot dot dots means is showing your optional components. Just go up. Yeah, this is one showing you your optional component, right? So in two role network layout, like controller node, compute node, controller is basically managing everything. We can add multiple interface here also to work very smoothly. And compute node we have two interface cards, like one or two. One is for internet, one is for interface. This is your management networks, means whenever we create the machine, the default IP address we calling as a management network. Okay, that IP address will be it's not the DHCP base, it's on static base. Okay, then this one is external network. External network means to download the packages within the second interface card, and just communicating within your storage, we require one more interface card that is showing in blue, storage network. Okay, the 3 NIC card is not mandatory. In our scenario, we don't have 3 NIC cards, but in real-time scenario, they are using multiple network cards. Also work on 2 network interface card or one also, but it depends on your bandwidth, how much you have a requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Role service layout on controller, when installing database, messaging queue, network time service means NTP, your identity keystone, image service clients, compute management Nova. Okay, on my controller node. Okay, multi-node installation, and those are optional like block storage, orchestration. Sorry, any question?
No, nothing, carry on.
Object storage, telemetry service, telemetry agent, database service, data provisioning, those are optional. So on controller, the mandatory like database, messaging queue, network NTP, identity service, image service, and compute management. Okay, this is required on the controller. On my compute, we required a hypervisor. Okay, so OpenStack will support all kinds of hypervisors like your VMware, Microsoft hypervisor like Hyper-V, Linux like KVM, Zen like Zen server, Okay, so everything till up to now, OpenStack will support your all kind of hypervisors. So here we are using the KVM. KVM is a Linux based hypervisor. Have you heard about the KVM before that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So KVM is a kernel virtualization manager. And the second thing is we have to install the Nova compute package, right? Because it's a hypervisor. This hypervisor we have to manage. So that's why we have installed Nova compute package. And again, to communication between your controller node, we require networking, right? So we're installing
Mm.
compute networking here. And the telemetry agent, it's not mandatory, it's optional. If you want to metering your
Mm.
services, then you can install that one. On the block storage, we required ISKG target service, block storage volume service, telemetry agent, or object storage. We have to install object service account, object storage container service, and object storage object service.
So these are the softwares that come along with the OpenStack deployment, is it, or we have to do it?
Actually, this is as the components we get from the internet. We have to install this component on one machine or your multiple machines. That machine
Got
it
it.
will
Got it.
utilize your hardware as a cloud.
Yeah. So now you are installing your DevStack environment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be all in one role that you will be installing.
Yes, exactly. All in one.
Correct.
Yes.
So in all in one also a similar layout will be given. Now you are showing me how it is, but all these mandatory components also will be there, right? In
Yeah, yeah,
all in
yeah,
one.
yeah, 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 all in one. I show you my script. On my script also I mentioned here on my stack.sh. They are mentioned on top of the your file. Like you can see that configuration and various combination of Cinder, Glance, Heat, Horizon, Keystone, Nova, Neutron, and Swift. Okay,
Hmm.
it's installing this all
So what
components. Yeah,
Correct. So what you are showing on this slide is basically what packages and components will go in each of the nodes. That's what
right.
you are trying to
Yes,
say, right?
exactly, exactly. Means
Oh,
this dev stack is not used for production, but when you go for real-time scenario, we have to use any kind of scenario, this kind of scenarios, like two roles installation, three roles installation. We can add later also the multi-nodes. Okay, suppose I created all-in-one. Okay, and now I see that my client is using more nodes, so I can add one more hypervisor. Okay, I see
mm,
the networking is working very slow. I need one special component, one special node as a networking, so I can create as a network node. I see that I
mm.
require the storage requirement, so I'll add one more node as a storage. Okay,
Okay.
so this kind of scenarios are there. We already see these things. Okay. Okay, all-in-one deployment scenarios. Single node which contains control services, network services, compute services, optional block storage services, object storage services. Means in all-in-one we installing everything. Okay, that I explain. So this is the deployment scenarios, how to deploy the machines, to types of deploying the machines. Okay, so you got it? Any questions you have till now?
No, no, that's good.
Okay, so now we are just going to learn each and every component one by one. Okay, means what is the keystone, what is the function, how it is work, what is the importance are there. Okay, second, like what is the glance, importance, installation, everything. Okay, so today we'll discuss about only the keystone. Okay, so agenda of this presentation is overview of Keystone, terminology and process flow, okay, and workflow, deployment and create users. We'll do this thing everything on your Packstack installation. So tomorrow we'll start the Packstack installation because DevStack is not in use in your real-time scenario. So we'll basically focus on your Packstack, so Packstack installation. So tomorrow we'll start with first all-in-one, then multi-node we can add it, or we can at the time we can add as a multi-node installation. Okay, I'll show that one
Yeah.
how it's work. So OpenStack add-in service overview. Code name is Keystone. Provide authentication and authorization. Provides a catalog endpoints for all OpenStack services. It's very important. OpenStack is provide catalog endpoints to all OpenStack services. All OpenStack means like your glance, kilometer, everything will be managed by your Keystone. Okay. They need to register each service in OpenStack installation, keep track of which service install and where they are located in the network. Means it's like your uh, indexing of your all components, right? My storage will be installed on my which node. It will metering by the saving by in your database by keystone. Okay, like horizon install on my controller machine, so it will say like horizon install on my controller machine. Compute where we have suppose 5 computes, so it will allocated, we have 5 computes. The compute utilization is till now is like 4 GB use, 10 GB free, everything is registered with your keystone service. Okay, so it's a very important.
Okay, okay.
Terminology means there is a user. So user means person, system or such who use OpenStack cloud service. Okay, it's a simple user term validated by the identity service. Credential means your password. Data that confirm the user identity like username, password, username, API key, that is coming into the credential. The next one is authentication. Authentication means process of confirming user identity. Suppose I have OpenStack cloud and I have authorized person to log in there, but somebody is trying to log in there without authorization. So that information will store in your database. Like I create a user Atul, so I can log into the server Atul because of in the database there is an entry name is Atul is authorized person to log in this machine, right? The same thing is authentication. Token, an alphanumeric string obtains user for access OpenStack API and resources issued by identity service after authentication used to subsequent requests. Okay, so what is a token is very important as an interview perspective. Okay, so token means when suppose I created one user with your name, so you are the person to log in my OpenStack cloud. So how you are going to log into my cloud? So Keystone will provide one token to your name, like ABCD1234 is alphanumeric order. Okay, that token will assign your name. So whenever you using your login name and password, that token will be activated, and that token will inform to Keystone this user is going to be login. Please check this is the valid person or not. Okay, if your login name and password is correct, then you can log I'm sorry, then you can log in it. You got it? What is token?
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically used for confirmation. Tenant. So tenant is nothing but project. Suppose I am cloud provider and I have two projects. One is HP and one is IBM. Okay, so I will create the two tenant. One is for HP and one is for your IBM. Okay, its content used to group of isolation resources may map to customer, account, organization or project. Okay, it's a interview questions. Tenant means it's nothing but your project. Okay, it's set of your VMs, that is nothing but tenant. Okay, service means the OpenStack service such as Compute Nova, Block Storage Cinder or image service, that is calling as a service. It provides one or more endpoints. Okay, there's no meaning over there. What is a endpoint? A network accessible address where you can access a service. Means my compute install on my second machine, storage install on my third machine. So it will create the one endpoint connection. Means on my controller IP address slash controller slash the hypervisor name is actually calling to my second node, right? That is called as endpoint. And the role means your
Yeah.
privileges. Like suppose you are a simple user, you are just going to log in there. It means you don't have the privilege to create a VM or delete a VM. Suppose I'm an admin, I can log into the machine, I can delete anything, that is called as admin privileges. Okay, this is looking like
Yeah.
a very simple, but it's interview questions. Okay, to understand these things is very important. What is a tenant, what is the roles? So next thing is so when we create the VM on your OpenStack, what is happening at the background? Okay, what is happening at the background? I show here the process flow. So you can see here, here is my user. Second one is Keystone. Third one is Nova, Glance, and Neutron. This is a mandatory components. Okay, storage and everything will be later. Okay, user means here is my graphical access. When I try to log into the user here, suppose I put a password Atul and the password, so it actually goes credential to my keystone. That credential is stored inside of my database. Keystone will, the user will send, means this page will be send information to Keystone. I got one request from Atul with this credential. Can you please confirm it? So Keystone will check in the database. If it is right, login name and password will be right, then he will assign this one token to this user. You can see he provided one token to user. The user will log in to the successfully login on a graphical page. Okay, after this token, user will successfully log in on your graphical page. Then user will send the token to request for VM. To creating a VM, he send the token to request for VM. So when I click on a new create a new VM, is actually background happening is token sending to your Nova node. Okay, this node we are going one by one later, but just understand the what is happening at the background. Okay, request for VM, but Nova is not authorized person to authenticate that one, right? In the Nova also don't have the database to understand this token is correct or not. So everyone will should be talk with your keystone, right? So Nova will send the same token to a keystone to verification. I got this token. Can you please verify? So token will verify this thing and again forward to the key Nova. Yes, this is a verified person. You can go ahead, right? Then Nova required to provisioning. We require the ISO file, right? So ISO file he will send a Nova same token to no Glance. Again, Glance don't have that idea to verify that token. Then Glance will also talk with the Keystone. You can see here it's a verification. Glance sent to the Keystone. Keystone verified that authentication and it will send it's a verified person provide the ISO file. Then Glance will send the ISO file to your Nova ISO VMDK VHD any file. Okay, because Nova is basically used for provisioning of VMs, right? So he get the image. Now we have authorized person authentication and we have provisioning. Then we have ISO file image file. Now we require the networking, right?
Network.
Same thing. Nova will talk with the neutron, the same token. Okay, same token is using for the whole process. So he will talk with the neutron. We require network information for this token. Again, neutron will talk with your keystone. We got this token. Can you just verify? After the verification from your keystone, neutron will provide the network information. So network information means like your IP address, gateway, router, everything. Okay. Then it will provisioning your VM and it successfully response means you will see VM is going to be creating. Okay.
Okay.
This is the flow as a happening at the background. Any question here?
No, no, this is good.
Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, this is here I mentioned the Keystone Identity Manager. We just go here. Yeah. So user API, you can see here, user wants to launch an instance. Keystone, user Keystone API. Yeah, it's look like a very difficult to understand here, but whatever I explained in my present here, just make sure you remember. It's a very famous interview question because it's a only last 3 years company going to use, so nobody is a master in OpenStack. So they're asking only simple questions like components overview, what kind of installation you had done in your past or current scenario, and the one by one specification like what is a Nova, what is a Glance, keystone importance, right? So same things they will ask you. And when we create the VM, what is happening at the background, the VM provisioning steps. So we have to explain the steps. Okay, it's very simple steps are there, but just make sure remember. So this is the practical session. We'll do these things. Okay, I'll check my installation will be done or not. Maybe taking too much time. It's 98%. Okay, meanwhile I'll
So
explain.
at the end of,
Yeah.
sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. I'll explain you one more thing here. Like in the market, you can see that AWS is very famous.
Mm,
Then the second cloud name is OpenStack. Okay. So why AWS is very famous? I'll give you one example. In the if you have 12 years of experience, right? So before say 7 or 10 years of like 2003 or 2001, like all servers is based on Windows. You remember?
mm,
Like Windows Server
mm,
2003, 2008. Why? Because it is stable, provided support by Microsoft, and they have the all solution, right? But one
mm.
disadvantage is we have to purchase a license. Every
Correct.
server
Which is
will
very
need license.
expensive.
Yeah, expensive. Again, you have to install any application, we require license. For auditing,
Mm,
they will charge you, right? Then came in the market a new technology name is Linux. Okay, it's open source, you can download it, you can create as a server. Then it supports your all kinds of hardwares, it supports your all application till up to now, right? So it's a free of charges. So now you can see that 80% production server based on a Linux only,
correct.
right? The same thing, AWS, they created the same thing. They built it AWS as a stable cloud. Okay, they have the
Mm,
solution, everything there, but we have to purchase a license. Instead of license, like suppose I use the 10 VMs with the 1 GB, 1 GB CPU. So end of the month,
mm.
we have to pay that some amount to AWS. We use whatever utilization is done by us, right?
Okay.
Second thing, we cannot download AWS on your own machines and build your own cloud. It's not possible because there is no license to download that one. It's not a free, right? So it's a public cloud. We can download that one and create your cloud. You can build your application on your AWS. But the suppose
Mm,
I work with the IBM. I'm working with the HP, Cisco. I have money. I have hardware. Why I can go with AWS? I can build my own cloud. Even I can sell my cloud to my client, right? So that's why
correct.
OpenStack will goes in future. It's very good market in future, not right
Mm,
away. In the market, you can see that OpenStack, there's a lot of openings are there. Okay, but yes, as compared to the AWS is very higher. But in the next 1 year or 2 years, OpenStack will beat to AWS.
okay.
Why it is important? Like same thing on Azure also the same thing. They have the same thing. They will provide you solution, but we have to purchase the license. Again, it's a Microsoft Azure. The same thing, we have to purchase license. How much VMs will be utilized? We have to pay them. So I have the
Mm,
here couple of AWS, not AWS, Azure and this one. You can see that actually OpenStack is looking like this one. Okay, when we done the
mm.
installation, it's look like this kind of like projects, compute
Okay.
means your hypervisor. Okay, actually it is
Mm,
on scale cloud. Scale cloud is one organization. They will provide the OpenStack solution. Okay, so they have
okay.
some issues to testing on it, so they will provide me access. So I'm just doing the testing on the scale cloud. So
Mm.
how the Azure is work, I'll show here. I have Azure access also.
So which is more scalable? AWS, OpenStack, Azure, which is more scalable, which will, take
Scalable,
up, yeah.
sorry, scalable in the sense,
Scalable in the sense, suppose I want to deploy large number of VMs, right? Depending on the hardware capability, which will be faster, which will be more stable, stuff
so you
like that.
can add n numbers of size of VM on any cloud, right? On OpenStack means whatever hardware you mention in your background, that kind of scenarios you can create it. AWS, they have a lot of hardwares. You can get n numbers of your VM on AWS. Azure also have a lot of hardwares. You can create their n numbers of VMs. But faster, as I can say, AWS. AWS is more faster, but yes. So suppose I'm adding here, this is my Azure account, okay? On Azure, I'm just adding one VM. I want to add one Linux VM. So how it's happening? Suppose I use the Red Hat CentOS 7.2. I selected this VM. Okay, this is a graphical. You can see that what is happening at the background, we don't have the access, right? Where's my
Mm-hmm.
compute? Where's my controller? We don't have access. We have to just select the graphically and everything will be built. Then on the VM, you can do anything, not on the cloud. But in OpenStack, we have to build the controller. We have to build the compute. So suppose I'm creating here is a test VM. Okay. So here you can select the types of hard disks. I use the hard disks. Actually, we have one more test VLX. I use the one. Okay, here I'm using my username. So you can use by public key or password.
Mm.
And here we have to mention the password. Okay, this is my group. Maybe password doesn't match. What is happening? Okay, so when I click on OK, it will ask me the types of your what kind of VM you want to create, like 2 GB RAM, 40 GB hard disk, 8 GB RAM. You can see that it's a standard. A2 standard is comes with a 2
Mm.
cores, 3.5 GB. D2 standards comes with 2 cores, 2.7. But you can see here is a money, 65.17 USD per month, 110 USD per month. So I click on view
Oh.
all, it will show everything. So if you want to for test the
Mm-hmm.
VM also, you have to pay them. You can show
Oh,
here.
okay.
This is
Whereas
the
AWS has 1 month free trial, right? Which you can use.
AWS is having the 1 year of free trial, but make sure when you create the account, that account is linked with the AWS account is directly linked with your bank account. Okay, so if you exclude your limit, they have some limit. If you exclude your limit, it will directly deduct the money from your account. Okay, without
Oh,
any
okay.
intimation. Like suppose they have 750 hours of limit per month and you excluded more than the month, okay, 750 hours, automatically it will deduct from your and account, like it's an USD dollars. Okay, so it's like a big
Mm.
amount, it will automatically deduct. For my friend is already he's doing some networking test on AWS and he just exclude the limit, he got a 1 year 1 month of bill is 20,000. So
Oh.
he was shocked. So when we're using the AWS, make sure you just just very important to just use the utilization, how much you're using, how much it is done, so it will not deduct from your account. Okay, you can see
Oh.
there's a basic account also are there, point 2 point 0.25 cores with a 0.75 GB RAM is 9.75 for testing purpose. Okay, if I'm going to the higher,
Mm.
$23. If I going to say 14 GB, then it goes to the 191 USD dollars per month. So when I select here any of the, you have to select any of this one and select, then it will check this everything is okay and it will build your own machine. Okay, so automatically
Okay.
assign the storage, automatically assign the network, public IP, network security group, everything will be assigned. So when I click on OK, it will create and it will build my VM. Okay, but what is
Mm-hmm.
happening at the background, that's very important to troubleshoot the cloud solution as a cloud solution or cloud architect. What is happening at the background is important, but this will not get, will get the on AWS as well as on your Azure also.
Correct. And
So
OpenStack, if you have your own hardware,
yeah,
then all you have to do is install the OpenStack and cater it to your services, right?
right, exactly. You can just practice on your own laptop also or your company premises also, and then you can go for it. It's very simple to use it to graphically. Command is little bit harder, but we'll just go with the command as well as graphically. Maybe it's taking too much time. Depending on your network speed, how much network speed is there, it will download the package.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So, what is the code base for the OpenStack? Is it Python or what is it?
Yeah, OpenStack build is based on a Python only. Okay, if you are a developer, you should be very know about the Python language. And if as an admin, it's not required of Python language as of now. But yes, as a like automation scripting, that time you have to just understand the Python.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's built only on Python language. So almost you can see that 1,200,000 companies are supporting the OpenStack. Even the Microsoft also contributing codes for OpenStack. So you can see that OpenStack how much it is important, right? For
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft, the biggest competitor is open source, right? But even the Microsoft also, the Microsoft Hypervisor is also support to the OpenStack, right? So that's
Okay.
why Microsoft also contributing code for OpenStack. So it's very important. Now you can say it's like 100% of AWS and 85% to the OpenStack. But after 1 or 2 years, it goes to the above to the AWS.
So when you say you're testing OpenStack or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So you are approached by the open source community to test it, or do you enroll yourself for that? How is it?
No, actually, I'm just learning, just searching on something like cloud solution online architecting some higher levels. So that time I get the
Mm.
skill cloud. So I register their website. They send me one email. They will provide me
Mm.
the test account. They check my profile on LinkedIn. They says we have some testing. Can you just help us to test from your side? So I'm just testing this one, the create a VM, automations of VM. How when we create the VM, what kind of speeds are there? How it's work. So they want to build they already built a cloud, but before they deploying to the client, they want to just test from outside of the organization or any other, can test from the multiple peoples can think multiple ways, right? So I'm also admin, so I can think another way. I find suppose any solution problem, I'll tell them we got this problem. If I have solution, I'll provide them, or they will find out the solution.
Okay.
It's a free, of course. It's not they're not paying anything, but yes, I get the chance to learn that one. I definitely learn.
Mm.
Have you worked on
So what
any?
kind of,
Yeah,
sorry? Go ahead,
uh,
go ahead.
yeah. Have you worked any kind of automation tool like Puppet Chef?
Puppet we have used actually. Haven't like worked on it. So
Okay.
basically, we have this. We work in Seagate, right? So it's a high performance computing place. So
So
if
you
we
you
have to
working on
deploy
which
the
company?
Seagate, I have worked in NetApp and Seagate. Now currently I'm in Seagate.
Okay, okay. Seagate and Bangalore.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah. Not in Pune. Pune has got one more division in Seagate. Yeah.
okay, okay. Seagate, right. So
So
actually, what
there
is happening
we
as
have
a
used.
sorry, I'll finish once. As a cloud architect or as a the senior perspective as a cloud engineer, you should be know a basic thing about the automations because cloud is work on automation tools. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. So
we can build that one, but again the automation thing is required as per the company requirement. Okay, it's not mandatory.
yeah, yeah. So we are into both. So I am from QA background, right? So I work in both manual and automation. So Python is something that we have started learning, and that's why I wanted to know.
Yeah, Python is actually I can say it's a very simple language to understand. It's the basic of English. I can say basic of English. You have to use it very simple and it's work.
Okay.
Yeah, I show you everything. So we have to just wait for the done the installation. When it is finished, I'll show the how it's looking at the graphically, how to log in. So it will automatically create your login name, automatically create the password which one we enter in your machine, right? I mentioned Red Hat. So the same password I can use for login as an admin or demo account.
Okay.
So, Sarika, one more thing. Uh, what time your office hours means you only referring to weekend days?
Yeah, office is like I go by 8 and come back by 4:30.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
and means any specific reason you only just going for the weekends only? Because weekends,
Yeah, because
yeah,
yeah,
weekends only we have just doing the 3 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, right? And full
yeah.
weekend you don't have the any teachers again. 3 hours is like bothering to you, right?
Yeah, weekdays I'm not finding preferable timings. That's the problem. If they can do something like weekdays, how many hours will that be?
2 hours per day.
Okay, now 4 to 6 was one of the timings that I saw. So that is,
No, no, actually,
that is not
I'm also
good
working
for me
somewhere.
because
I'm also working with the organization. My office timing is 10 to 6. I'll reach my home 6:30. So I can spend 7
okay.
to 8 or 7 to 9. That is also okay.
Um, okay.
9 p.m. Because as per my
Okay, if you can
last
make it like
experience, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you can make like 7 to 8:30, right? I wouldn't mind. 7 to 9 is too much because I have a son also. So his dinner time and all is a
Yeah, yeah,
problem
right.
for
7
me.
to 8, 8 or 8:30 also is a good, not issue. Because only the weekends, the weekends is like the student will just understand at the time when I say, but they will not practice it, and again it will flush one by one, one by one. But when we go one by
Yeah.
one over day every day, they will go more understanding. And this weekend also I am not available because the Diwali vacation 29. So I'm available on whole
Yeah.
week. Everyone, I think you are also not available, right? So again, it
Yeah,
will
yeah.
take
I'm not
two
available
weeks. Yeah,
today
2 weeks
also.
of gap out there. So you will lost a lot of things, right?
So can you accommodate? Can you make a change like that?
So we do one thing. We'll just do tomorrow morning 7 or 7:30 class, and from Monday to this Thursday, we'll do the evening class like 7 to 8:30. And from again the next week also Monday to like no, not on this week because the Diwali vacation 29 30. I'm this whole week I'm on leave, so we will go here like 20 and 23 we have the morning class like same timing. 24 25
Mm.
26 27 we can do the 7 to 8:30. Okay, and this weekend we'll take the break for the Diwali vacation and just will come back on the 6th of November. No, 6th not so 6th, 7th
Okay.
of November, 7:30, 7 p.m. Okay, then we can do it on a daily
Yeah,
basis
yeah.
on evening class.
So it is because Thursday evening sometimes we have calls in the evening from 7:30.
Thursday,
So I can let
27th.
you know, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that is
sure.
the case.
That we can just ignore that, not issue. But again, you can say the one it's like a 1.3 hours, like one per day. So we can spend 1.3, 1.3, 1.3. So Thursday you can take a break. Friday I'm just leaving to my hometown. So this week I'm just on my hometown. So I'll catch you on 7th of November.
Okay, sure.
Okay?
I mean, you let me know now that we have this. You can always let me know anytime, right?
Yeah. So I'll get back to you on this timing also. I will also inform to the consultant.
Yeah. So only the lab session is left now, is it?
No, 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 it's not kind of this way. Every day what we'll do after finishing this thing, tomorrow we'll just start installing on your CentOS machine, okay, like all in one first, then multi-node
Hmm.
installation, then what is the configuration file, where it is installed, and we're just going one by one. Means like we done the keystone, right?
Oh,
We
yeah,
understand
I
today.
got it. I meant today. Today only installation is
Yeah,
left,
yeah.
right?
Today is
Currently.
we finished this one only. The
Hmm.
desktop installation. I'll show you how it's look on your graphically, how to log in, how it will show everything. You can do it on yourself also. And from tomorrow we'll just go with the Packstack installations.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay?
So
Yeah.
at the end of this, how much time would it take for the certification? So is it an online certification that you do?
No, actually, as you're asking about the certification timing.
No, no, about the certification in general.
Yeah, if you're going for certification, you have to just practice at least 7 days or 10 days. Okay, you have to just register with a Red Hat exam center. You're going for Red Hat
Mm-hmm.
only, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
In
in
there,
Red Hat, is there, what else is there? I've
yeah,
seen
in the
Red Hat,
market, there's
but
clients are there. They will provide the certification like Mirantis certification, Red Hat certification.
mm,
Mirantis is like a optional salary, like virtual exam. We have to select the optional one. But in Red Hat exam, we have to do a practice sessions. Practical exams are there. We have to build a cloud. We have to create the project, user, quota, and like this kind of scenarios.
mm-hmm.
Okay, the fees will be 17,000. 15,000 plus taxes is comes to 17,000. The
The
code,
fees for the certification, you
yeah,
said.
yeah, and exam code will be EX210. Okay, OpenStack.
Oh,
OpenStack EX210. Somebody calling it a CL210, but its exam code is EX210. It's provided by Red
mm,
Hat only. Okay, other like Mirantis also there. Is one more vendor of OpenStack. They're providing OpenStack certification. Then Rackspace also providing certification of OpenStack. But Red Hat
mm-hmm.
is very famous for certification, right?
Okay.
You can go with Red Hat only because it's a practical session and you'll get the certificate. Actually, it's taking too much time. So what I'll do, I'll just pause the recording. Okay. So it will not create
Okay.
the, okay. Uh, so create a instance. Just, I'll show one more first again. Just click on instance, click on launch instance. Okay. Here we have to just mention the name, like I'm using the student. Okay, Nova is default zone. We'll just discuss later what is Nova and this. Here is we have to mention the count. Means I have to create the how much machines. Suppose I mention 20,
Mm,
10 here. It will show like utilization will be higher, right? So I'm using the
correct.
one only. Just click on next. Okay. Here we have to select the images. Okay. Images means your ISO file. So I can use the Cirrus because it's very small and it will launch very fast. Okay. Cirrus. Next. Then you have to select the flavor. Okay, flavor is nothing but your hardware style, like how much RAM
Mm,
you required, how much CPU you required. Okay, hard disk you required. You can see that amount of tiny means one CPU 512 MB RAM, 1 GB of disk, root disk is 1 GB. Amount of small is 1 CPU 2 GB RAM, M1 medium 2 GB, 2 CPU 4 GB. Okay, same thing on flavors. Okay, so I use a simple 512 MB RAM because it's a very small image. Next, here by default I have they provide me one IP address, one network. Okay, it's like 192.168.50 or something. In your case, it will create the simple same network. Okay, just click on next. Okay, click on next. So the next thing is not mandatory. So I just click on launch instance. Swapping mean is going to building. You can click on here, student, and just click on console. It will show the console log. Console logs means it's a building of VM, right? So when we create the VM, like it's creating a package, you can see that it goes completed.
mm,
It means within a minute it will complete because of the image size will be very low, 12.7 MB. So it's a Cirrus is a
yeah.
one image, right? Login as a Cirrus. User default password is CUBS cup swing colon and this sign. Okay. So this is the standard image. So I can try to log in Cirrus. Okay. Cirrus. CUBSWIN colon and this sign. Enter. You can see that I can successfully log in here. This is my shell account, right? I can use the command host name. It will show my host name. The host name will be student. We created, right? And
Yeah.
we use the m1.tiny, right? The 512 MB RAM. So I can check my RAM is how much it is. Sorry. Okay, you can see that 491 MB means almost 512 MB RAM, right? And df-h means it will show me 1 GB of hard disk because we selected first flavor. This is my 1 GB of hard disk. So this way you can just create the VM. Suppose I want to create the CentOS, we have to upload that one. We'll check that one later. Just you can do the installation and try to log in on the graphical window and see what is the components are there and how it looks. Okay.
Yeah. Atul, one question here. So, is the CentOS and the other OS that you have, so you would have to download and put it here, is it?
Yeah. So when I click
Okay.
on images, okay, images default they have they provided me three images, but in your machine it will default is one is there. Okay, so suppose I want to create a one more image like Red Hat 7.2. So create image, you can click on here. I can mention here Red Hat. Okay,
Okay, got it.
image location you have to select the file. So suppose
Yeah, yeah.
I have ISO file on my E drive. I'll select that file and it will upload there.
It can be an ISO file as well. ISO file,
Yeah, you
right?
can use ISO file, VMDQ file, VHD file, anything. Okay, it will
Okay.
upload from here like Kali Linux, I can use Ubuntu, anything you can use it like Windows 10 and it will upload on there. It depending on the size. Why I use the Cirrus? Because it's a very small image, right? So you can,
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, if I were to deploy, install this on my machine,
yeah, you can
so
install it.
if I want a CentOS, I was just wondering if I could use that. That's all.
Yeah. So one thing is you can just do today installation, okay? And again you can destroy that machine or shut down that machine. Tomorrow we're just going with a CentOS, okay? So you have to create the two machines. Like one is a 5 GB of RAM and one is a 2 GB of RAM. The first machine name should be controller. Here I can show this kind of scenario. One is a controller machine. Okay, you can see that this is my controller machine.
Oh.
This is for CentOS, okay? I use the
Hmm.
6.1 GB RAM, one processor, hard disk 50 GB. I'm using here the 2 NIC card and one is compute. Compute means
Hmm.
hypervisor. I use a 2 GB,
Hmm.
one CPU 40 GB and two networks. Okay, I'll show here how to do the all-in-one and multi-node installation. Okay, and
Okay.
after that we'll just go for these things like what is the project, how to create network, everything will go one by one. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think we can stop today. It will take maybe some time. Are you on Skype?
Yeah, yeah.
So anything, any updates or something, I'll show that one. What is the Skype ID?
Same Hotmail account. Sarika underscore Inamdar.
This one,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one.
first one.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't know there are two accounts actually.
So you able to log into
uh,
this one Skype account?
I'm on Skype actually. I didn't get the request yet.
So do one thing, you can send me request to me Atul Patil 6767 my ID. Atul Patil 6767.
Okay. So I search right, Atul.
Atul Patil 6767.
Yeah, I got that. That's Skype. I can directly add that, no?
Yeah.
Atul Patil.
Sorry.
One word, right?
You have to just click
One
on.
word, right? Atul Patil.
Yeah, it's a one word, single word. Atul Patil 616. No space, no dot, anything.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. I have accepted an invite also.
Yeah, got it. So when installation is complete, the output message I will drop you here. Okay, you can start the installation from your side on your machine. Create the Ubuntu machine and start the installation. Okay, and on your I will upload this video on somewhere location on Dropbox. I'll provide the link. Okay, and these documents I'll send you on email or I'll send the consultant. They will forward to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
fine.
sure.
Okay.
So you can do that. That will help me actually.
Yeah, sure. And make sure you can save this recordings on one location because after some time you will just forget the day one installation, day two installation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are going to send the recording, right?
Yeah, I'm sending recording. Just we have to just create this recording. Okay, it's a recording started. So when I stop the recording, it will create the one
Yeah, yeah,
file.
sure, sure. I mean, once you send it, I will,
Yeah, I will
yeah,
upload. It's a size of
I will
very
do
high.
that. Not a
I will
problem.
upload on one portal Dropbox. You just click on that link and download on your location. Okay.
Sure, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the time. We'll meet tomorrow, 7:15, 7:15 or 7:30.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 7:15 should be good.
Yeah, okay. Morning
Wrap it up
7:15.
fast also.
Yeah, actually morning wake up is very headache for me. This is my first time I'm just doing the morning classes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the day. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye-bye.